one thing that this mastermind taught me that is priceless is that if you do align things in your life and in your business, you will receive back like 10x what you gave.
In today's episode, I brought on one of my clients, Laura Baileni. She is an Instagram coach based in Italy, and she had a $40,000 launch within 2 weeks of joining my mastermind, Ascension, the Mastermind. In this podcast episode, we cover all the things mindset, manifestation, and the true tactical action she needed to take to actually implement the mindset work that we had done together. Laura is a well-renowned Instagram coach in Italy, and she shows up on this podcast episode extremely vulnerable, honest, raw, and real. The way that she comes on and speaks her truth is so powerful. I truly cannot wait for you to listen to it. So after the show, let us know your key takeaway by sending me a DM on Instagram. And trust me, you're going to want to listen to this one all the way through. Today, I am here with the magnificent Laura. She is a superstar, especially because when we first started together, I just feel like you have shifted so much in such a short amount of time. Like you have truly quantum leaped. And I'm so excited for you to share it with all of the listeners today. Welcome to the show, Laura.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, actually. I'm so excited to be here.
Of course. So tell the world a little bit about who you are and what you do first. And then we are going to highlight your successes, because we have so much to celebrate here. Yeah.
Boom. We do. So because now it's like a before the mastermind and after the mastermind. So before the mastermind, I was Laura Baileni, the online business coach. I basically started a business from zero, and in 1 year it went to multiple six-figure business. I teach entrepreneurs in Italy how to go from, I always say, I hate my boss to I am my boss, because my story, it was kind of like that. Like I had a horrible experience with my last boss. And so I really wanted to have the freedom to decide who I was working for, how I was working, how many hours, everything. And I guess a lot of people during COVID and after started feeling that way. And so I actually started thinking, okay, what is it I'm a genius at? And I realized that was Instagram and getting clients through Instagram organically, because that's what I used to do in Canada, where I lived for 5 years. It's hard to tell my story all in once. There's so much, but so from zero, I started teaching people one-on-one, and then I started my academy very soon because I had so many requests. And Artagram became very famous. I have like plus 500 students in it, and a lot of them became their own boss. So I'm really proud of it, and I'm super excited every time one person tells me like I quit, Laura. I actually quit because I made enough money with my own service and with my own passion to be able to do that. So I'm living the dream.
That is such a beautiful mission, because not only have you been able to do it for yourself, but now you're teaching other people how to do that the same. Because I don't know if you felt like this before, but for me in my business, like once I reached that level of freedom and fulfillment in my business, I was like, now I want to teach others.
Yes, it was like, I don't know, discovering something like so beautiful that I wanted everyone to come check it out, like a beautiful gold stone or something. And I was like, hey guys, it's real. Come see. So that's basically what it was. Like I was eager to show others that it is possible and it is a reality today to create a business out of passion. And yeah, it's truly insane to even say that I'm living the dream. It's been 2 years and I'm still here, so it's really good.
I love this. And What's so beautiful is that you said to me, I'm living the dream, but you still chose to invest in a container and continue your growth. So, can we touch upon investing in yourself when things are good and you're trying to go from good to great to even better? Can you talk about that experience?
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I'll ever stop investing in my personal and business growth. I don't think as a business owner you can allow yourself to just stop. And
Totally
I
agree.
guess it's like it's really just a passion. I don't know for you, but for me, I really love investing in courses that make me a better business, a better person. Like
Yes.
it's just, and even just having a group of people around that get you,
Oh my
you
God.
know?
Yes.
Like having a tribe that knows exactly what you're living. Because I don't know for you, but for me, like a lot of my friends don't do this kind of business. And so it's really hard to compare. So one of the reasons for sure I enter this mastermind is to have a group of like-minded people that don't want to, like, they want to play bigger. They don't want to just play small, and they know they have so much more to offer. Even if things are going great, they can be even better. And so I wanted to push myself further. And another thing, which I think is never going to stop, is I had some roadblocks. And I think in business, every time you want to grow, you have roadblocks. And I had one big time about going next level. So I was okay where I was, but to go next level, I had to be able to understand my value, my real value, to increase my prices, which was so freaking scary to me, to understand that I grew as a person. But there is a sentence that stuck to my mind, and is every time you go one step farther in business, you're doing something you're not qualified for. And that's exactly how I felt before this mastermind. Like I felt unqualified to go to the next level. So I wanted to have a mentor or someone that made it to show me the way and lead me the right way without burning out. That's another thing I'm very afraid of. So those were basically the three reasons why I decided to join the mastermind.
Thank you for your vulnerability, for your
Yeah.
ability to come on this show and say, I am a multi six figure CEO, but I've dealt with burnout. I've dealt with those roadblocks, those limitations, fear of raising my prices. And I think this is really the beauty in working with somebody who you connect with. Of course, right, they have to have the business skills and know how to grow and expand, but truly that you feel energetically aligned to, because then you feel safe enough to implement the resources and the strategies.
Yes. And another thing that is incredible about this mastermind is that never, like in this mastermind, I felt aligned with the piece that things were going ahead. Like, I don't know how to describe this, but every other mastermind or every other journey I went on was so rushed. And so at one point or another, I felt unaligned and overwhelmed. But here is really about every time you tell me like what feels aligned to you. Is never like, okay, we should do this, because then you become this hustler with no reason to actually hustle, right? That's not what I want. I want a peaceful business, a business that works, that goes next level, but in a peaceful way and in an aligned way. And I wasn't doing that. I was just looking for the next shiny thing. But now the thing that shifted is I'm doing only things that really align. And that's such a shift for my business, for my growth. And that resulted in way less time in my business, making way more money, to be honest, and doing only things I really love, or like mostly things that I really love, instead of ending up almost hating my business model. Because you get to that point if you just follow the hamster wheel, right?
And let's go deeper on that for a minute, because everyone thinks, oh, I'm just going to join for the numbers, or I want to make more money, or I want this. I vividly remember when we had a conversation about you joining the mastermind, you actually retracted your financial goals and you sent me a message later and you were like, actually, I want peace. I want alignment. I want freedom. And just this morning you wrote in the group and were like, I feel so aligned to my business. Everything is working out for me. And like, that's the true freedom.
Yes. Like, honestly, I can say that out loud. I told you when you asked me what was your monthly goal, I said 50K, because that's what I wanted to reach, like in my mind. Like that was the number. But then after we talked about alignment, I started thinking and I was like, wait, do I really want to work like 12 hours a day in order to get there? Or do I want to have a more peaceful goal? And then it was like, do I really need 50K months? Like, do I actually even need that? Or is that something that just everyone says, so I want it too, you know? Like kids, like see the toy the other person is playing with and they want it. And so I was like, no, wait, what feels aligned? And aligned meant 20K month. And that's the funny story. 20K month and more time for yourself. Like, working 6 to 8 hours, not more per day. I ended up with a 40K month because I went into alignment and I didn't even ask for that. But I was so aligned with the way I was creating my new way of doing business. I ended up with 40K in less than 2 weeks and time to go to the gym, which is something I haven't done for 2 years. Like, it was insane. Everything because I just did things that felt aligned and removed everything else, which is another thing that I feel people don't see, but it's a lot about removing, not really about adding.
Yes. And let's recap everything you said. You said, you know what, Giulia? I am so detached from the outcome, from the number. It's actually not about the number. It's about the feeling, how I'm going to feel in my business. Time to go to the gym, time to spend with my hubby, time to travel and enjoy and love my life 6 to 8 hours a day. And look what happened. You got it all. And this is something that's so powerful in business, which is the law of detachment. I actually want to do a whole training on the law of detachment in business, because when you tell the universe and you say, I am grateful for what I have, I just care about feeling good, feeling in alignment. You are connected to your highest power, your highest self, to your source energy, which connects really with all of the abundance that's waiting to be delivered to you. And like, you're put on this earth to live a wildly, wildly abundant, pleasureful, happy life. And when you were able to tap into that frequency and say, you know what? All I care about is serving people, doing good in this world, living an abundant, juicy, and exciting life. However that wants to manifest, I'm here for it. I'll allow it. You had a 40K month, you're feeling peaceful, you're feeling at ease, and now you just are like, if I could do that, imagine how good it gets to be.
Exactly. And just really giving yourself the space and time to actually receive these things. Like, that's another thing. I was so in a rush to get them that I was kind of pushing them away, if that makes sense.
Oh, 100%. You're speaking to everybody who's listening. They're like, oh, wait, I think that's me.
Yeah, like asking for it so much, begging for it. And once I just let it go and let it be, like, one thing that shifted completely for me, for example, was my money mindset with you. Like, I started this being like, no one is ever going to pay me that much for my own mastermind, for example. That's what we worked on. And I ended up, we said if 2 people get in by the end of April, was it April? No, by the end of March, we would be like celebrating big time, because I thought no one was going to come in. I posted one story on Instagram, like one set of stories on Instagram, and I had 12 application and 9 people in the mastermind the first time. So it was insane. But why was that? How did that come into fruition? Was because I finally removed myself from all of these mindset blocks about I'm not enough. There was a huge realization about I need to please people. So if I ask for a lot of money, I need to give all and more of myself to them, and they need to get results. I had all of these mindset blocks that you helped me overcome about I can't ask for so much money. Like I'm not that valuable. I'm not enough. I won't please them enough to get there. And once I actually allowed myself to understand how much I had to offer, how much was my value, how much I already had, which is something I never actually see. Like, even just like putting down everything I'm grateful for, everything I already have, and all of my achievements and everything I can teach through that, even just having achieved that and showing other people the way, which doesn't mean they're gonna get to my same point, maybe. Like, I can't decide that. There are so many factors, right? Like, that's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to show them the way. And that's a different kind of offering your service to me. Like, that shifted my whole way of communicating online. I was happy about sharing what I wanted to offer them. I wasn't anymore like, I'm promising something, but I don't know if I'm going to deliver that. No, like, none of that. I'm showing you the way, which led me to where I am today. You're a little bit behind, so I can show you. If you want to come through this journey with me, this is what I can do for you. And this is my value. And it's so different. It's just something shift in my mind. And that's what really allowed me to receive, is that I was vibing different. I was giving something different online and offline, even in the sales calls. Like, I honestly rejected people. That never happened to me because I didn't want them in such a valued mastermind. I knew who it was for and who it wasn't for. And I said no to people who weren't aligned. So again, like, when you're aligned, you know what to say yes to and what to say no to, which is something I had to learn again, because it's so easy to say just yes to anyone, right? Especially in business. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll help you. No, if you're not aligned, I can't help you. So I'm going to do a disservice to you and to me if I say yes. And it's more important than money to feel aligned. It's more important to cash that 5K client. It's because it's going to be a pain in the ass for me and for you, and everyone is going to be frustrated. It's not about money anymore at this point, right? It's about, what do I want my business to be? Do I want, for example, my mastermind to be an aligned mastermind with people that are aligned inside, that do achieve things, or do I want just anyone to get in and not give the value that I know I can give to the right people? So my whole business world changed thanks to this mastermind and to you. And thanks to you, I can now have my own mastermind, which is something that I thought it was possible 3 years from now. I thought it wasn't an authority enough. I thought one of my other blocks were like, you're in US, Italy is different. Remember? Like, I told you, like, no one is going to pay for a mastermind here. People don't even know what a mastermind is. It was just blocks in my mind. And part of me at the end of our call asked myself, like, have you tried? Like, it's that simple. Have you tried? Like, what's the worst that can happen? You stay where you're at. So why don't you even try? And that's where most of my clients and myself get stuck. And I guess your clients too. Like, have you even tried? No, because fears and blocks and mindset blocks just lead your business right now. And so one thing that this mastermind taught me that is priceless is that if you do align things in your life and in your business, you will receive back like 10x what you gave. And it's just, everything is more true, if that makes sense. Like it feels real. It's not a facade anymore.
Yeah.
Everything you do is led with your heart and with true purpose. It's just different.
And you've truly reclaimed your power, especially because I'm looking at the date, and at the time of this recording, it's only been 1 month that we've worked together. Like,
I know.
I just took a second to think about that. I'm like, look at all of this transformation in 30 days, probably a little bit less than that.
Yeah.
This 40K mastermind launch, alignment, happiness, getting back on your workout routine, fulfillment, pleasure, happiness. Like, this is the feeling that people think, oh, I want the money. And when you sat with that, you're like, it's the feeling that I want. And the money was a byproduct of that feeling.
Yes, definitely. And also, like I always say, my true form of success is peace. Again, once in the mastermind, you showed us how to have a peaceful business. I always was like really close to burnout. Like I always launched a thousand things. I was always afraid that this month I'm not going to make enough money. Even in my stage of business where, I mean, before this mastermind, I made 10K a month. Like, it's not like I was just at the beginning, but it was always this feeling of, I'm not done this month yet. I haven't received those 10K yet. So again, I was pushing it away instead of letting it back in. And now I have such a routine in my business, thanks to you. And like, I have my morning just blocked out, no appointments, to make sure I'm aligned in what I do. And I need to take a second, which is actually an hour, to understand is what I'm doing aligned. And it's going to be a needle moving activity for my business, or am I just doing it because? Even posting became easier because I didn't just post random content anymore. I was posting content that was aligned. And it's everything has to do with a peaceful way of living, a peaceful business, and people see that. And when people see and receive that kind of vibes, instead of like, oh, I'm so busy, oh sorry, I can't talk to you right now, and all of that's chaos. People don't want to work with people that are chaotic.
Exactly.
And now it's so peaceful that it's like you can see I have things under control.
And now that you're outside of it, right? It's like you can see your business and your life from a 30,000 foot view, and you can say, I've shifted, I've made this transformation. So I'd love to hear your perspective around what were some of your fears before purchasing, and now seeing them, how you've transformed them and realized that it was just a fear and not a truth.
Yeah, I always have this. When I make this big investment, it was the second big investment in my life and in my business. It's always, the first fear is always like, am I going to get this money back? Which is so wrong, by the way.
That's valid. Like,
yeah.
That's even how I feel when I invest in myself.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the first thing, which of course I made it. I made 40K. So, but then the second was like, is this right for me? Is this person the right person for me? I feel that's another thing that I have to think about it long and hard. Again, what feels aligned? Yeah, I guess that was my biggest fear. Like, and the third fear was like, am I up to the challenge? Because when I invest a lot of money, that means I have to be up to the challenge, because this is no joke. And the other roadblocks I had were like, I'm not ready for this. This is too advanced. Or I have no time for this. How am I going to apply all of this? But actually you removed these things from my life, like the busyness, the how do I make money the next month, all of that. The exact roadblocks that I had in business, basically this investment made it solve 3x faster. Like, it's not like I couldn't solve them myself, maybe if I wanted, but maybe in 5 years instead, you know?
That's the power. That's
Yeah.
the power of investing in yourself, because you collapse timelines and you quantum leap. And this is what I always say, and this is what I teach you to say in your messaging and with your potential new clients too. It's that your job as a coach or a mentor is not just information, because information is free. Anybody can Google what's in any of my courses, any of your courses. So what are people paying for? They're paying for personalization. How do the business principles, the tools, and the frameworks work for you? They're paying for alignment and authenticity, because when you Google something online, that doesn't mean that it 100% resonates for your specific business, your model, your lifestyle, your situation. And community and support. Like, Laura, you crush it, because every day you're like, 10K day, 40K launch, I'm taking a week off. Like, you are so inspiring, really, to the other women in the group. You. And even to me, just seeing how fast you shift and you move. And I'm like, all my clients can do this. All my clients can tap in like this. And it's so beautiful and inspiring. And that's what you're investing in. And the last piece to this is you're finally making a commitment to yourself that you are the least likely to break, because you put money on it.
Yes.
The same way, when you invest in a personal trainer, it's not that you don't know how to go to the gym and you don't know how to work out.
Exactly.
You're doing a financial commitment so that you hold yourself accountable in a new way.
Yes, exactly. Accountability is another thing that I feel in business is so needed. You can't be alone in this. Like, there are so many things and variables, and there are so many no days and yes days that need to be shared if you want a quantum leap. And if you really want to grow fast and well, because there is a good fast and a bad fast.
Yes.
And honestly, like, if all of my wins, when I posted on the group, they're multiplied, that they create momentum, right? Because it's like, holy cow, I actually did this that I'm writing. And other people are like, oh my God, you're amazing. And when other people share their wins, once you're in this group, it feels like they're your wins. Because it's like, if she did it, I can do it.
Yes.
And this is exactly what I want. If someone is listening to this and thinking about investing in you, it's like, I'm no different from you. I might have a little bit more followers than you right now. I might have a business that is a little bit ahead. But honestly, if I had this mastermind a year ago, oh my God, how many things would have shifted way faster in my business as well. So it doesn't matter where you're at. It's just really about, do you want to keep guessing what's the next step? Or do you want to know what the next step is that feels aligned, and that you have step-by-step process to follow? Because that's another thing that I want to say. You, Giulia, are insanely good as anyone, like no one I ever met, because it's not just manifestation, it's not just business, it's the both of them. It's the two most important things that you need in business together. It's not just mindset, which if you don't apply things, is not going to be useful enough. Like, that's going to wear out if you don't actually put actions on it, on the mindset shift. And it's not just business, but then you don't see the part that is the human behind the business, right? It's both. And so that's how I was able to overcome so many roadblocks in such a short time. It's because, okay, I knew what the mindset blocks were and I overcame them, but I also knew what to do in practice, like the step by step, the actions to overcome them and to go through the fear. You were like, okay, then we have to do this, and this. So I just really had to follow. And that's, at that point, it's really up to you that like, if you're listening and want to invest and are like, is Giulia going to be enough, or the investment, is it going to be worth it? The question is really, are you willing to play the game? Because Giulia gives you everything you need. You have to do it though. And that's the bottom line. Like, if you do what feels aligned and the action you create together, then it is gonna work, because it's your type of business. Like, you never forced me to do things that didn't feel aligned. It was always my ideas and your practical steps to get that into fruition and get it into a reality for me. And like, everything I really needed to make it a reality. Practical, mindset blocks, everything. So it's really just a question of, is it worth it to invest now? It's not that, that's not the question. Is it worth it to invest? Like, do I understand that this is gonna be work?
Yes.
And you have to actually put 100% of yourself in if you want to get where you want to go. Because Giulia is going to take you where you want to go. It's freaking scary, but you can do it. And you can like see your 5 years project get into fruition in like 6 months. Not even. I've been here 1 month, people. So it's like, honestly, like, everything is doable. You can have all the means, but it's really up to you. Are you ready?
Yes.
That's the real question.
Thank you for that, Laura, because I think what's so powerful is that a lot of people think they're afraid of failure, but most times they're afraid of the success. They're afraid, if I invest with this coach, if I join this program, if I do this thing, then I actually might be successful. It might actually work for me, and I might get everything I've ever wanted. And not enough people are touching upon that because it's taboo to say that. But the truth is, sometimes the success is scarier than the failure because we're so comfortable in our comfort zones that success can actually be uncomfortable because you're going to become less relatable to the people in your circle.
True.
You're going to feel sometimes, oh, am I too much for this world? And then those beliefs start coming up. So I love what you said. I am so humbled and blessed that you really just shared those really beautiful words with me. So thank you so much. And
oh, you're welcome.
The biggest takeaway I felt from that, and to anybody who's listening, is really asking yourself, am I ready to 10x my life? Am I ready to accelerate? Because everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. And I really, truly believe that for each and every person listening to this.
Totally. Looking back on it, I was even scared, like, because the mastermind idea has been in my mind for a long time.
Wow.
Like, since November, I guess. It was 6 months. I was stuck. Honestly. Like, I even asked people, like, would you like a mastermind? And I did a whole form to interview people. And then I kept it. Yeah. And then I kept it there. It was like, yeah, but not yet. Yeah, but I have too much in my business already going on. Like, all of the excuses. Reality was that I was scared that if that worked, like, what? Can I have a 40K in 2 month? In 2 weeks month? Like, can I really do that? And it's insane how my whole business changed in a month, because now, like, thanks to this mastermind, and thanks to the income, I can take more time to feel more aligned with my team, with everything that is around there, right? So it's really like, it was scary to think about this change happen. Now it's a happy thing to think about because I have it under control.
Yeah.
But change your business means losing control a little bit.
Wow, that's the
scary.
nugget. That's the golden nugget of this entire podcast.
Yeah. Like, you have to be willing to lose control. That's what I did with you. I lost control. Like, I went into calls that I wasn't honestly ready for. Like, I sold something that felt freaking scary to me to sell. And I allowed myself to get comfortable with time, 2 weeks, whatever, with some time. I mean, I really just did things that scared me and that were uncomfortable and that were
Yes.
out of control. Because I
Yes.
knew that to step up, I had to take control off my hands and give it to someone else for a second.
So beautiful. Laura, you have shared so many nuggets. This has been such a powerful podcast. And really, where I
Thank
want to
you.
wrap it up is first by saying thank you. Thank you for sharing your whole truth. I know that you are this like amazing, really just like such a powerful woman in your business. You're so here to make the world a better place. Like, I only work with people who want to change the world, help other people, create impact driven businesses. You are just such a powerhouse woman. And for you to just show up here and speak your truth unapologetically, put your fears on the line, your vulnerability, and speak about it so openly is very inspiring, especially
Thank you.
for people who feel they hold the weight of the world. I know, myself included, that sometimes it can be hard to be open and vulnerable because everyone looks up to you. Everyone looks at you as the coach or the person who holds it all. So I just want to say thank you for sharing your heart and your truth. And the last thing is, I want to ask you one final question is, for anybody listening here, if they're like, okay, I've heard the podcast, I've seen the testimonials, I've seen the results, but I'm still on the fence. What is one thing you wish you could tell them?
Okay. So, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm so humbled by being here and being like, even just you being my mentor to me is like a dream come true. So, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for sharing this with the world. The one thing I would say to a person that is still on the fence is like, I would like them to ask themselves, what are you really afraid of? And if that is ends up being like losing control, well, is there any other way to get to where you want to be? So that's the two questions that I ask myself before investing.
Wow. Okay, that was straight fire. Like, I even started thinking about that myself. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, I feel like those are the two questions that you have to ask yourself when you want to invest in something. And it's like the third, I guess, is, are you ready?
Are you ready? I love that. Laura, thank you so much. It was so beautiful having you on the show, and I can't wait to watch you just 100x from here. You went 0 to 10 real quick. Now,
Oh
like
my,
10 to 100 is going to be a piece of cake.
oh, I can't wait. I'm ready to lose control again.
Next level control. Thank you so much, Laura.
Yes. Thank you.